Hey guys, it's Ty from gamesfromthefront.com for got a little bit of an after action report for our seventh session of the campaign game for Where Eagles Dare. Got a pretty regular group of players now. We had 5 players the other night, plus 1 or 2 observers that showed up at various times. We coming back from a 2 week break for some vacations and back in the swing of things. Picking up where we left off at the 0900 turn of the 18th of September, 1944. Couple things we noticed in an interim. First of all, we had missed a die roll modifier for the weather roll on the 18th, and while we had been playing with rain, the die roll modifier really should have made that overcast. So for this session, we switched over to the overcast weather during the 1100 turn. And then after this session that I'm going to review here in a moment, did notice that I brought in some of the Eindhoven regional command units pretty much in the wrong location on the opposite side of the map. So we're going to have to fix that for the next session. But starting down here in the south, a little bit off the front line, we still have the 231st, the British slowly making their way up the raised road. You can see quite a line of units. Most all these guys are in column and are just outside the outskirts of Valkenswald. We did have a random event that placed this German armored unit pretty far west of where he was located. I think he was about here at one point, and then got lost by a random event and ended up far over to the west. Otherwise, pretty quiet in this sector around Valkenswald. Even with the clearing of the weather, didn't really have too many opportunities for the Germans or the Brits. Got a couple of AT guns that unlimbered here north of the town. And with that lost unit, the KG Walther lost their artillery spotters, so their artillery was pretty quiet. A little bit further north, the Guards Armored Division made it into Eindhoven and made it right up to the bridge. Or not quite right up to the bridge, but within a couple of hexes of the bridge. However, by that time, this engineer unit from the Eindhoven Regional Command pulled off a pretty remarkable roll for their troop quality and was able to wire the Eindhoven bridge. Additionally, this Garrison unit put up a tremendous fight, suppressing 2 British units who otherwise would have clearly outmatched him. And so for now, it looks like those Brits are pretty far in trouble. The other thing is this is where you'll find those errant reinforcements, this light blue Kampfgruppe Jungwirth. They entered far to the east and really should have entered far to the west, so we're going to have to account for that. Following up a potential club route into San, not too much going on action-wise, although a handful of the 502nd units kind of vacated the area and started making their way west. You'll remember from the last session that the San Bridge is destroyed, so it's going to be a while before the Brits get an opportunity to try to fix that. Here in St. Odenrode, we've got the 501st is approaching the outskirts. The 502nd has reached the outskirts to the south. They've suppressed a pretty formidable or relatively formidable static armored unit that was in a fortified position, so that's going to make the approach into St. Odenrode a little bit better, a little bit easier for the 502nd. We do have a number of German units and garrisons in improved positions right around the bridge, so that's going to be a little bit of a fight. Following up the road into Veghel, there's a little bit of an assault here, and the Americans in the 501st regiment were able to clear out a Garrison unit. So Veghel is completely under American control at this point. If you remember from the last session, we've got a number of reinforcements who have entered into the best area, and you'll see just a ton of units here. There's actually, let me think here, almost an entire division. The 59th Division is facing really just the 506th Regiment, Parachute Infantry Regiment at best. The regiment, the parachuters, parachute units are actually pretty well ensconced in best, but we've got a number of units, a number of battalions within for the Germans from the 59th. Kampfgruppe Huber is making a roundabout to the bridge at best to hopefully secure that. The KG Clem is slowly approaching the town, and then we've got KG Derwitz, who is really slowed down by these 506 units that are in an improved position. They even picked up a heroic marker through random events. So it's actually kind of a really interesting session in terms of positioning, a little bit of combat. 500 Mike playing the 506th really did a great job positioning his mortar here in this observation post, which really gave them a good line of sight to take out and do some damage on some of the trucks that were moving along for KG Huber. But having said that, the Americans are going to, and the Brits for that matter, are going to need some reinforcements pretty quickly, and it doesn't look like the next landing, with the overcast weather, the next landing is not going to happen until tomorrow. And then we're not going to get to any releases for 30 Corps until, I guess if it's the 1100 turn, we've got 1100, 1, 3, 5, 7. So another 4 or 5 turns before 30 Corps is going to get any reinforcements. So anyway, good session. Nice to be back in the swing of things, and we're looking forward to next week. Thanks a lot.